Okay, so he didn't finish Hazeh, namely. So the Rebbe is saying that when does the Alter Rebbe bring out the mile of Moishe? On Simchas Torah Day. There's a whole arichas in the Maimon at great length explaining the mile of Torah over Moishe. But the end was, both according to Bavli and Yerushalmi, overall, the mile of Torah. In other words, Torah is brighter. Torah is brighter, it's light. Moishe, mitzvahs, physical, little acts. So in terms of brightness, Torah wins the day. But there's going to come a point, if the mitzvah cannot be done, if it won't be done, you got to do it. That's the Bavli. Mitzvah she efshal aseis adei achedim. If the mitzvah will not be done, then you stop. And even the Yerushalmi, there's a whole arichas, the Yerushalmi is all about oil. And the Yerushalmi extols the mile of Torah. The Yerushalmi says, even Rabbi Shimba Yochai was Terosim Nasi at the highest level, but not disconnected from the world. He changed the world through his Torah. The story in the Zohar there when there was no rain. Even he, the Yerushalmi says, certainly stopped learning to Mekayim Sukkah and Lulav and all the mitzvahs that come on specific occasions. So even the Yerushalmi is masking at the end of the day there has to be Moishe. Now the Rebbe is saying that's the conclusion of the Alter Rebbe's Maimah that he said Simchas Torah. He went through the whole Tishrei and the Avodah of Tshuva. The end, the Kudah was extolling Moishe B'Poel. And again, the diak is, when did he say it? It's a beautiful thing. Simchas Torah by day, not at night. Why are we dancing by day again? We danced already. But it has to be. We're not repeating this. It's even a greater Giloi. And why are we dancing? Because the Gili of Torah is so great that the Seichel can't take it, which is why it comes down to the feet. And there, in the Simchas Torah day, which is lichtik, it's luminous. So then, what is the Maimah that he says? And what's the end after the whole arichas? Explaining the virtue of Torah? However, bottom line, it's all going to be put aside if the action will not happen. To apply it to right now. Right now, this is exactly what we're talking about. I mean, it's always exactly what we're talking about. That every single Yid we encounter is waiting for us to be ma'ored in the Shama in a pale, mamishdik way. No one else is going to do it because I met them. Let's continue in the text. So the end of Eis, hey, mizem muven. Mizem muven achidush b'maimed anal. So in light of all of the above, we can understand the great chiddush of the Alter Rebbe's Maimed. Av sham yirasa hayis b'yoyim simchas Torah. Even though he said it on the day of Simchas Torah Shezeh, Azman Shebei Mudgeshes, Yoiser, Miles HaTorah L'Gabay Mitzvahs, is this every day that brings out the mile of Torah of a mitzvahs. It's B'chlal Simchas Torah, but not at night, but by day. And Bizman Zeh Gufa Madgesh Admor Azoken Es HaIloi V'Hecharech Shebekiyo Mitzvahs Ma'is Davke. At this very moment, the Alter Rebbe underscores the Iloi, the virtue, and the Hecharech. It must be the inyan of what mitzvahs ma'asis. By doing so on this Maimer, the Alter Rebbe literally opened up the pipe. As we said the other day, the Rebbe is saying here that when the Rebbe says Torah, is not saying a Dvar Torah, he's a brilliant person, and a kasha, and a teretz. That's not what the Rebbe's Torah is. He's mamshich the inyan. He reveals this in the world. In the words of the Maimeh, Pasach HaSatzinder, he opens up the pipe and makes this, and connects us to it, and brings this hashpah, this empowerment, this giloi, this emes to us. Namely, how does the Rebbe explain it here? Shegam kasher oimdim bizmanu Maimeh damatzah sheba lahemshich l'simchas Torah. Even after we leave Simchas Torah, opposite. Even at a time which is a Simchas Torah hemshech. Sheboim Mudgeshes Yosem Marles HaTorah Lagabe Mitzvahs Maisiyas, that even in a matzav he's saying of inspiration, a Simchas Torah matzav, where the emphasis there is Torah over engagement in the world. The Alter Rebbe says, never disconnect. He adds and underscores the mile and the hechrech of mitzvahs ma'ases. Never go on a rotzei trip one way. In the greatest moment of rotzei, Simchas Torah, Hemshech, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, right there. Don't disconnect. And yet, how are we celebrating it? Maisa sheba maisa, feet, where everybody's equal. Shebazeh shavim kol b'nei Yisrael, all yidnei equal, varishtabes v'yisachtu shal kol b'nei Yisrael be'iker. Where are all Jews one and the same? Where do we eat? The great equalizer is primarily misadin yidekim ha-mitzvahs ma'ases. When it comes to action, we all put on the same tefillin, same mezuzah, bracha. B'chinas nehi netzach hoid yisoid, not so much at the Chabad level. The Chabad level, we're all different. When it comes to learning, B'chinas Chabad, Yesh B'chiluk Darkes, has many levels. Rashechem Shivtechem, from the heads of your tribes. K'may Sanhedrin, like the Sanhedrin. V'ad l'chayte v'yitzecha v'shoiv mimecha, to your wood choppers and water carriers, the pasuk in Parshas Nitzavim. Shalachem Matzino. Therefore, we find, he brings here from Tanya, it's a gewaltige Chiddush. Tanya Periches. There's such a disparity when it comes to Limud HaTorah. Sheyesh mi shemedabed dvarim metelim beheter. Even dvarim metelim is forbidden. The pasuk says, "Vagisa bayom v'layla." You should be immersed in Torah day and night. But there's some people that can't. If he's not a learner. So his dvarim metelim are not an iser; they're a heter. So that's how far Torah is, from the Sanhedrin to the one that you could say one perek at night, perek echad shachris, to expect him, his conversation all day to be Torah, just doesn't have, can't. Afal began, so that's when it comes to Torah, there's a big difference. Everybody is equal. Maybe mitzvahs like the Rishalmi said about B'Shem Bayachoy, Sukkah Lulav Shalzeh, Omri Rishalmi Shebavada Hifsik Rashbi. The Rishalmi says it like it's a rhetorical question. For sure he did it, and no one challenges that, even though his whole life Terosim Nosei. Lasi Sukkah will Lasis Lulav. Haritzivus and Emal Leposhesh Pshutim. This commandment to take a lulav in your hand and sit in the sukkah was said to the simplest Jew, the greatest, absolutely equally. And furthermore, not only does the mitzvah address every yid equally, moreover, when are all Jews equal when they do mitzvahs? Where is it expressed? It's not in the ruchnistic dimensions that the mitzvah affects. The meditations, the kavanah, yichudim elyonim, the unities, l'mayla, zah, and malchus, and so on. That's not where we're all equal, because that requires kavanah, that requires, when you do the mitzvah, that the keys to open up these portals, these heicholis. That's not where we're all one. It's doing the mitzvah parshat, b'chinas nehi, you know the word, vayas kein Aaron. Maybe she told Aaron to light the menorah, and Aaron did so. The B'ditchev asked Vayaskin, and Rashi says, Malamed Shalei Shina, to teach us that he didn't change. Would we think that Aaron would change from the instructions? Vayaskin says the B'ditchev that the praise is Vayaskin, he did it so like a poshet read. Notwithstanding his Avin, Yidden, and tremendous Yichudim, he did it with Kabbalah's oil, with absolute simplicity and bittul. Vayaskein atazei giton, like this, like anybody else would do. That's the praise the Torah says. Vayaskein Aaron. The Kaim tzivoy v'rotz l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Now the Rebbe teaches it out. There is a kavanah here. It's the deepest kavanah. What's that? La says loy nachas ruach. Not for his elevation and his experience, for the Yid himself, but you said so, doing what you want, push it. And that shaykhs to everybody. Adarabah, the simplest Yid understands nachas ruach better. Because the more sophisticated we are, it's madregas and we're affecting this, and it gets clouded by all kinds of explanations. Push it, you want, and I'm doing it. The simple Jew has this kavanah clearer. Direct to atzmos, do wills, you want, I'm doing it for you. Kemaima, like it says, Rashi brings it from the Medrash about, on the Pasuk, where's this? Nachas ruach lefanai, just a little question. It's a nachas, God is speaking, David, it's a nachas ruach before Misha Marti, he said, V'nasr said, my will was done. This is a commentary on what? It's a commentary on what? This famous statement. Rashi brings it. If you look in the footnote, it'll remind you where it is. It's Rashi on what? From the Teres Kayanim, from Medrash. Vayikra Aleph Tes. Reich nechayach l'Hashem. The pasuk says about a korban. It's a moedic thing to consider this. The big chiddush of Chassidus, this Ave till Chassidus again. God doesn't need anything, and there's poshet statements, black and white in Chazal and in Psukim. It's all for us. That's still Chassidus. For our Eilam Haba. But then you see poshet kipshuta. The simple reach nichayach l'Hashem. It's a pleasing aroma for the Eibishter. Says the Medrash, nachas ruach lefonai shamarti v'naser etzoyni. It's all because for the Eibishter's wegen. Nisava, he needs my mitzvah. Please give me nachas ruach. It's a big chiddush of Chassidus, but it's in the psukim kipshuta. How was it understood till now? The Eibishter is just saying this to motivate us, not really. Yeah, till Chassidus, God gets angry, God's upset. He's just projecting this to motivate us to do mitzvahs. Chas v'shalom, God gets upset or angry. And the Hashem Leisha Nisi. Chassidus came along and says, yeah, he's upset and angry. And has nachas ruach. Because atzmus is not limited and can be affected and chose to be affected. What I'm bringing out is, we've mentioned this many times, that the deepest Pirush of Chassidus explains the Pshuta Shemikra, now it's Pshuta Shemikra. Till then we couldn't explain it literally. It's like a teacher in a classroom who pretends to be upset and angry to motivate the kids. He's above the whole thing. That's how it's still Chassidus. It's not Kipshuta. That's the irony. And I'll be Chassidus, it's Kipshuta. The Eibishter is laughing and crying in Nachas Ruach. Why? Because this Ava Kadosh Baruch, he chose to be affected by every Yid's actions. And the Pasuk means exactly what it says. That's the irony. The deepest Pirush, now it's Kipshutai. It wasn't Kipshutai when you learned not so deep, not with Al Chassidus. Clear? That's the irony. Weiter, Isaiah and the Rebbe's, they understand this is Shabbos Avarch Mecheshem. Most guys have gone already. But this is the culmination of Tishrei. So the Rebbe is like giving us marching orders. V'hinei Zion, marching orders and what? Not just marching orders, but not just instructions we're getting in the Maimon. What are we getting in the Maimon? Koyach. And it's in this Koyach. In the words of the Maimon, Pasach HaSatziner, the Maimon of the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe is opening the channels, the floodgates. Chevre, giving us. And when we're learning the Maimon...
It could be this. It was Shabbos was right after Simchas Torah because it says it's what is base. Usually when that happens,
right.
There's
everybody's still there.
Second for bringing ice Shabbos Beraishis to be give Pesha Bracha. I didn't check the dates.
The whole Eilam, thank God, is still there and hearing this. So the point is, when we learn the Maimer, we are getting this bracha. That's Pasha the Gemara. When you learn Torah of it's a Lashon Sif Seif of David Veis Bekever. When you learn the Torah of someone, he's saying those words Bekever in the grave. What's the meaning of that? That means, where's the kever is here. So he's begashmius, as it were, whatever it means. But it means here in this world, saying these words now, and therefore he's being mamshech, the inyan here, the matililam hazeh. So much so that in the end it's going to what? Conquer the kever, and from that will be tchias hameis. That's the remes here. Not just an neshama l'mayla, but kever. And neshama of the one who said the Torah. Zion. Okay, let's go further. Bihine. Oh. Boys, we're getting it mamish bullseye here. Mitzad ha'ishtavush ha'kol b'nei Yisrael mit geshes b'kim ha'mitzvos ma'isi is because of the equality of all Yidden. Where is that expressed? It's dafkin in mitzvos ma'isi is, so therefore tzricha li is ha'av l'kol echad ve'echad mitzvah b'shava mamish. All Yidden are equal at the bottom line, therefore we have to love all Yidden equally. As he says in Perek Lamed Beis, and in the Maimorim of the Alter Rebbe, and the famous one of Shalchak Admur Merashab, the Rebbe actually had this reprinted and gave it out personally. There's a Cholz of the Rebbe Rashab, very strong Maimer about Avas Yisrael, and Machlokes and Yeshes and Gaiva, that he said the Alter Rebbe. And then there's a third Maimer, or a fourth, or fifth, with additional explanation from the Fidik Rebbe, and he adds in brackets, it was the Palms out that was again published now in Tavshin Chav 32. Gimel just recently published. And furthermore, that's the Maimer of Echolzer. Now, in addition to that, his father-in-law writes in his letter. He's in 33, Isra Chagash Sukkis Tavshin Ches, published in English Kodesh Chelik Test of the Fidik Rebbe. So there he writes, this midas Avas Yisol Shehidrech B'Omer in the Baal Shem Tov, about the nature of the Avas, the measure, the nature of the Avas Yisol that the Baal Shem Tov directed us. As Bnei Yisrael, Yidden b'siknoin ayedu mefursim lakel, in the language of that is known and publicized. Everybody knows the Baal Shem Tov's language, which is, and this is quoted by the Fidik Rebbe in this letter that was now republished. Quote: We should love. Miyaka means what? Cherish. The simplest Jew, them gresten Gon, like the greatest Gon, greatest scholar. Violet is a Yid, because he's Jewish. One Father for all of us. Pasuk in Malachi. And now another pasuk in Parshas Re'eh. Ka'omor bonim atem lavayli keichem, your children to Hashem, your God. V'ne'eman, the third pasuk, Baal Shem Tov. Now the Rebbe elaborates. You don't love the child, the Jew, because he might grow up or he will grow up to be a Gon in Torah. I was once reading somewhere, a contemporary big Godel was talking to women. It was published in, I think, the Jewish press. And he was saying to the women, inspiring them to be home bakers and change diapers of their children. What's the motivation? Because this baby that you're changing one day could be a Godel. She says, no. They're saying, no, that's not why. That's not Avas Yisrael. Because he's a Jewish child. Never mind, he's your child. He's a Jewish child. And because he's a Yid, you are children to the Abish, to your God. This is every Jew. From the greatest to the smallest, is a lashon of the Frierdiker Rebbe that he wrote after Yud Beis Tammuz. Every Jew that's simply just called Jewish, that's the only identification that the goy is going to call him a Yid. He doesn't live Jewish in any way. He is also included in this. That's lashon pasuk nitzavim, who is present and is not present, b'shava mamash equally. He's right now. He's not here. But it's him too. So what was the conclusion of this? That since, what the hemshech getting the flow, that since Simchas Torah, the Alter Rebbe is stressing at the end of Moishe, that's where we're all equal, and you see it on Simchas Torah, the dancing. And in the mitzvah gufa, what's the great equalizer? It's the actual action. Nachas ruach lefanish hamartiv naser tzoni. Therefore, it's understood that our love every year it also has to be equal. Because he's a Yid. So since Simchas Torah stresses the equality of all Yidden, you have to understand, this is 1964. We hear this, but it's a big revolution that Rebbe is hammering this home. Especially in 1964. I mean, that's, Jews were just breathing after the Holocaust and finally made it to America and starting to make money. And, life was good. The big melting pot was at its height. Assimilation. And the attitude was, so Jews made a choice. You want to go this way, or you want to go that way. The frum world, minority. The rest, you made your choice, freie world. And they wrote them off. In 1964, written off. The Rebbe is pounding every Yid who's here and is not here. The language in those days was, they made their choice. And we can't even afford to deal with them because we're not going to breach our walls and open up to that world. We'll make the Keilalim, the fortresses, the bastions of Torah, and Yiddishkeit will survive. So Rebbe is breaking that. He's breaking that wall. So since Simchas Torah is underscored the equality of all Yid, not as a toisves and sinas koyach. So this gives us all additional koyach love, v'ledei kiyum mitzvahs v'yaftal re'acha kamoicha. So Simchas Torah is all about the equality of all Yid, as we've explained. So it gives us koyach to fulfill the mitzvah v'yaftal re'acha kamoicha, kamoicha daika, like yourself. Therefore, we have to be involved in the welfare of our fellow, not just to discharge an obligation, but like you love yourself, like he's involved in for his own benefit. A person invests all of his effort, everything in his life should be as best as it could be. And that's why we have to be involved in another Yid's life. Now, since love your fellow as yourself is a commandment, it's not a romantic ideal, it's a commandment. Everybody can. It's possible. As it says in Medrash, so the square brackets, he just said now that when Yidden love each other, then the Eibusha shows his love to us. And he says, this is pasuk. That's why he stressed the three psukim when we learned ahead, so it was coming. Pasuk zeh beisof al pasuk. What does he bring? The Frierdiker Rebbe, he quotes the Baal Shem Tov about Avas Yisrael. He brings this pasuk, I love you, says God. Why is he saying that? We're talking about Avas Yisrael, our love of a fellow Jew. He brings it beisof al pasuk bonim atem l'Hashem Aleichem. Mainly that pasuk, you are children to God, your Lord, is a motivation for me to love every Yid, because every Yid is what? A child of the Eibusher. Why does he bring the pasuk that Hashem loves you? The topic here is me loving my fellow Jew. Because It's possible that the love of this child is not revealed, the love of the child. We don't see it. We're children of God, but we don't see that He loves us. We don't see it. That's why the Rebbe has to add, which means that we will have Avos Yisrael. We will reveal Hashem's love for us. It's always there, we're always children, but sometimes it can be very painful. We don't want that. We want that the Avos should be revealed. And how do we reveal the Eibishter's Avos to us? Through our Avos of another Jew. How timely is this? Shezeh posik b'Tanakh. This posik that I love you, says the Eibishter, is a posik in Tanakh that is emes, the Torah of truth. Shinyan emes meirel am shocha. Truth means it's drawn me'yaschola sa'isius at seifam b'shava aleph mem sof, from the beginning of the aleph base till the end. Vaynish avas Hashem liyisrael nimshechas mizgala. This posik is saying that Hashem's love for Yidden is drawn and revealed, which means, do we care if it's in the higher worlds? The love you wanted here. It's to overcome the protests of the Malachim, and who knows what, Bezen Shamayla. So it just washes and is revealed in the highest worlds. I love every Yid, says David, and is revealing it. Ad lamata belishum shinu, and that love is revealed down here and not change. Why would it change? Because there's tinus. They don't deserve it. There's all kinds of there's dinim at every section. No, it's overcome. And that Av is revealed fully down here. Keshem, just like he's drawing on Atzmos here. Just like God's choice to begin with is not conditional. I chose because I chose. Without conditions. So too His love. It's Atzmizdik love that Rabbi is saying is revealed through our Avos Yisrael and completely overcomes any resistance. Lamaila and Lamata. And where's this Inyan revealed? It's on this day, this Hemshech, let's say Shabbos Beraishis, Shmini Atzeres Simchas Torah, Mem Nimshach Al Kol Hashana Kula. And from these days, it's drawn for the whole year, Bayom Golui, in a revealed way, any basa that the physical eye can see it. God's love for us. How? Bebane nachas and children, and chaya, and health, u'mezayne revich, and abundant panase, u'bekulam revich, all three in abundance. Okay, but so I'm going to tell a story. We'll do it tomorrow. Because Thursday we have to start at 7 o'clock. Psudas Toivus, and we should see the Eibishter's Ava, Begolui, Mamish. And what's that? The Geula, Midas Vashlema, take her from a Yad Mamish.
Amen. Thank you.